Every developer has said it, but it works on my machine. Docker is the 4 words that end that sentence forever. A container packs your app and everything it needs into one box that runs the same way. Your laptop, a server, the cloud, anywhere. In this course, you'll go from your first container to building your own images. And at the end, you'll take a real app and its database and run the whole thing with one command. 3 levels, basics, images, ship. 10 chapters, fully updated for 2026. Let's build. Chapter 1, here's the problem Docker solves. Your code works perfectly on your laptop. You send it to a teammate and it breaks. Different operating system, different versions, a missing library. The reason? Your code doesn't run alone. It depends on an entire environment. Ship only the code, and you're shipping half the story. A container fixes this by packing your app and its whole environment into one sealed box. That box runs identically everywhere because it brings its world with it. Now you might be thinking, isn't that just a virtual machine? Not quite, and the difference is everything. A virtual machine ships an entire guest operating system. It's a full house. Its own foundation, plumbing, electricity, gigabytes, minutes to boot. A container shares the host's kernel and isolates just your process. It's an apartment in that building. Its own locked door but sharing the core utilities. Megabytes. Starts in milliseconds. That's why one server runs hundreds of containers but only a handful of VMS. Lighter, faster, denser. 3 words you'll use constantly. An image is the blueprint, the recipe. A container is a running instance of it, the cooked dish, and a registry is where images are stored and shared. The cookbook store. Recipe, dish, store, hold those. Next, your very first container in one line. Chapter 2, first, getting Docker. On your laptop, Docker Desktop bundles everything, free for personal use, learning, and small teams. On a server, it's Docker Engine, the daemon and the command line, no interface. Once it's running, the classic first command, Docker run hello world. Docker pulls a tiny image and runs it. If you see the greeting, you're in business. But let's run something real. Docker run -d-p 8080:80 nginx. That's a full web server live in one line. Let's decode those flags because you'll type them forever. -d means detached. It runs in the background instead of taking over your terminal. -p maps a port, host 8080 to container 80. Now your browser at localhost 8080 reaches the web server inside the box. --name gives it a friendly name instead of a random one. And a flag for later, --rm, auto-deletes the container when it stops. Is it running? Docker PS lists your live containers. There's web, up, and serving. What's it doing? Docker logs -f web. Follow its output live, exactly like tail-f from the Linux world. Done with it, Docker stop web, then Docker rm web. Stopped and removed. Clean. One line to run a web server, a handful of flags to control it. Next, let's step inside a running container. Chapter 3, a container isn't magic. It's just an isolated Linux process, and you can walk right in. Docker exec -it web sh opens a shell inside the running container. Run ls, and there's the file system. It's the Linux you already know, sealed in a box. This is how you look around, check a config, or debug from inside while it's live. Type exit to step back out. Where do containers come from? Images. Docker images lists the ones you've pulled. Docker pull grabs one from a registry before you even run it. And notice the tag, Postgres:17. That tag is the version. Always pin it. Postgres:17 is a promise. Postgres latest is a moving target that breaks your build the day it changes. Here's the whole life cycle in one picture. Pull an image, run it into a container, exec in to look around, stop it, remove it. 5 verbs, and you can drive any container. You know how to run and inspect. but everything so far vanishes when the container is removed, including data. Next, how to make data survive. Chapter 4. Run a database in a container, add some data, remove the container, and your data is gone. Containers are disposable by design. That's a feature until it isn't. The fix is a volume. Storage that lives outside the container, so it survives no matter what happens to the box. Named volumes are the clean way. -v db-data: the path where the database stores its files. Docker manages it for you. Now the test. Remove the container, run a fresh one pointing at the same volume, and every record is still there. The box was disposable. The data wasn't. There's a second kind, a bind mount. -v your current folder, /app. This maps a folder on your machine straight into the container. Named volumes are for data you want to keep. Databases. Bind mounts are for development. Edit a file on your laptop, and the container sees it instantly, no rebuild. Persist with volumes, develop with bind mounts. Your data is safe now. Next, you stop borrowing other people's images and build your own. Chapter 5. So far you've run other people's images. Now you build your own with a Dockerfile, a plain text recipe for your image. Every Dockerfile starts with from, the base image you build on top of. Node:22 slim, a small official node image, you're standing on their shoulders. Workdir sets the folder you work in inside the image. Copy brings files from your project into it. And run executes a command at build time, here, installing dependencies. Then copy the rest of the source and build it. Notice the order. We'll come back to why it matters in the next chapter. env sets an environment variable. Expose documents which port the app listens on. And the crucial one, user node, so your app doesn't run as root inside the container. Finally, cmd, the default command that runs when the container starts. This is what actually launches your app. Now build it. Docker build -t myapp :1.0 space dot. The dot is build from here. Docker reads your recipe and bakes the image. And BuildKit, Docker's fast modern builder, is on by default now. No environment flags to set, like the old tutorials show. Run it like any image. Docker run your own creation. It's yours now. One more file, .dockerignore. Like gitignore, it keeps node modules, git history, and secrets out of your image. Smaller, safer, faster. You can build any app into an image now, but that first image is probably huge. Next, how the pros make them tiny. Chapter 6. 2 techniques separate a slow, bloated image from a fast, lean one. Both are about how Docker builds in layers. Every instruction in a Dockerfile creates a layer, and Docker caches them. Change nothing, and a rebuild is instant. It reuses the cache. But the moment a layer changes, that layer and everything after it rebuilds. So order matters enormously. The trick, copy your dependency list and install dependencies before copying your source code. Your code changes every day, your dependencies rarely do. Put the stable thing first, and your slow install stays cached. Now the big one, multi-stage builds. A build needs compilers, dev tools, the whole toolbox, but running your app needs almost none of it. So you use 2 stages. A heavy build stage does the work, then you copy only the finished result into a clean, slim final stage. Everything else is thrown away. The payoff is dramatic. That 900 megabyte image becomes 80. Same app, a fraction of the size, and a smaller attack surface. And your base image is a choice on a spectrum. Slim is small but complete. Alpine is tiny. Distroless and hardened images strip out even the shell, nothing for an attacker to use. Order your layers, split your stages, pick a lean base. Your images are production grade now. Next, sharing them with the world. Chapter 7. Your image lives on your machine. To share it, to deploy it, it goes to a registry. Docker Hub is the default public one. 2 steps. Tag it with your username, Docker tag myapp your name/myapp, then Docker push. Now anyone can Docker pull it and run the exact same image. One heads up, anonymous pulls from Docker Hub are rate limited. Log in and the limits get much higher. Before you ship an image to the world, is it safe? Docker Scout CVES your image. It scans every layer for known vulnerabilities. This replaced the old Docker scan, and it's built right in. Would you ship a backdoor? Scout is how you make sure you don't. And a 30-second superpower. Buildx. Docker Buildx -- platform Linux/MD64, Linux/RM64. One command, one image that runs on Intel and Apple Silicon servers. Tag, scan, push. Your image is out in the world, safe and universal, but real apps aren't one container. Next, running many at once. Chapter 8, where it all comes together. A real app is never one container. It's your app plus a database, maybe a cache. 3 containers, 3 long Docker run commands with fragile flags you have to get right every time. Docker Compose replaces all of that with one file that describes your whole stack. It's called compose.yaml. Inside, you list your services. Here's web, built from your Dockerfile with its ports and environment. And here's DB, a Postgres image with a volume so its data survives. Notice one line, the web apps database URL points at DB, not an IP address, the service name. That's the quiet magic. Compose puts your services on one network and they find each other by name. The app says DB, Docker's built-in DNS does the rest. And critically, no version key at the top. Old tutorials all start with version :3. That's obsolete now, Compose ignores it. Just start with services. Now the moment. Docker Compose up -d, one command. Compose builds your image, creates the network and the volume, and starts every container in order. And note Docker Compose with a space. The old hyphenated Docker Compose was retired. Space, always. See it all, Docker Compose PS lists your stack. Logs -f follows all of them at once. And Docker Compose down tiers the whole thing back down cleanly. One file, one command, your whole application. Next, let Docker write that file for you, and we build the real thing. Chapter 9. You've handwritten Docker files and Compose files to understand them. Now the shortcut you've earned, Docker init. Run it in your project, answer a couple of questions about your language, and Docker scaffolds it all for you. A Dockerfile, a compose.yaml, and a .dockerignore. A working starting point in seconds. From there, you shape it into the real stack. Your web app and a Postgres database beside it, wired together in Compose. But there's a subtle trap. Your app starts fast, the database takes a moment to be ready. Start the app too early and it crashes trying to connect. The fix depends on, with condition, service healthy. And a health check on the database that tells Compose exactly when it's truly ready, not just started, but ready. Now the order is guaranteed. The database comes up, passes its health check, and only then does your app start. No race, no crash. And the named volume on the database means all your data outlives any restart. The stack is real now. Next, we run it end to end. Final chapter. Let's put it all together, from an empty folder to a running application live. Start with Docker init, answer the prompts, 3 files scaffolded, Chapter 9. We shape the Compose file into the real stack. Our web app, built from the Dockerfile, Chapter 5, and a Postgres database with a named volume, Chapter 4. Now the one command that does everything, Docker Compose up -- build. Watch it work. Docker builds your image, creates the network, starts Postgres, waits for it to be healthy, then launches your app. The whole stack assembling itself. Open localhost 8080. There it is. Your app running, talking to its database, all in containers, all from one file. Now the real test. Add a record. Then Docker compose down the whole stack, gone, then up again, and the record is still there. The volume kept your data. That's production thinking. Look at everything you just used. Init, build, compose, volumes, networking, health checks. Every one a chapter of this course. Why containers, first container, inside, volumes, Dockerfiles, optimizing, sharing, compose, init, and one real app, deployed with a single command. You can ship anything, anywhere now, the same way every time. If this course earned it, subscribe. There are more full courses waiting on the channel. Questions in the comments. Now go containerize something.